Boom. All right, now it's been a minute, and we are resuming. So last time, we made a... Oh, the light fell on my head. That's funny. Don't kick the desk. Lights will fall on your head. We made a boarding house and a gatherer's hut and thought that would give us enough food, but because we were playing with the long term in mind, we built the gatherer's hut at the edge of a forest instead of in the middle of a forest, so it only gathered about 100 of each food type instead of 600 of each food type like it will if you put it in the middle of a forest. So we got way less food than we were expecting. We lost about 11 people to that. Then we threw up the other standard normal buildings, and we're going to pick up from there. We're down to 11 adults and 5 children instead of like the 20 that we would normally have. But children get replaced really quickly. I think the maximum number of population that can be supported by a boarding house is 19 or 22 or something, and you just have kids until you reach that number. I think the number of houses determines your population, like in many other games. So if you want more population, build more houses. So even though we lost a bunch of people, they all got pretty immediately replaced. So you can kill off your citizens all you want. Totally not a big deal. So let's reopen Twitch chat so that I know if anyone says anything. And go from there. So short-term plans: get a trade depot, buy some goats, goat it up. I'm gonna goat the goat town. Long-term plans: I should pick up all the metal and the stone off the ground because we will need a stone quarry and an iron mine once we run out of that stuff. But until we run out, we're just gonna pick it up. So I can find any more stone. I think our trade depot is going to take a lot of stone, so let's see how much we can pull in. And we'll make another, we'll make like an intermediary stockpile here to put that stone into. And we want to get enough foresters to plant enough trees so that our gatherer's hut can do better. And we're out of clothes, but we're going to stay out of clothes because we got 4 people hunting, which is the most I'm willing to commit to hunting at this point, and it's not bringing in enough hides, leather hides, to really run a tailor. You need 2 fully functional hunting things. Still won't pull in enough hides to keep 1 tailor going. You actually need 3 hunting lodges, and that's like 12 people. There's no way I'm going to tell 12 people to go gather me leather, so we're just not going to make any clothes, man. Everyone can run around naked for all I care. I'd also like to get educated pretty quickly because education makes your... what should I call them? Your people? Your citizens? Yeah, it makes your citizens gather more food per hour or whatever, or build more tools per hour, or do more whatever per hour, right? It makes them more efficient. And efficiency is the name of the game in this here, them, there, because if you become too inefficient, you need to have 100% of your population constantly mining food just to not starve to death, and then you die from other sources. Like, you need enough efficiency at gathering food that you can spare some people for things like long-term investments like farming, which will make you more efficient at gathering food, which will allow you to have more long-term things like a hospital and a town hall and other cool stuff. So efficiency, baby, efficiency. So I think we should start educating our people pretty soon too. Somebody unlocked the door and is now coming downstairs. Uh-oh. Oh yeah, you totally caught me, Rimyuk. Welcome. Welcome to the place of the Halby. The Halby place. So we're trying to not die in Banished, although we're not doing a great job quite yet. We'll eventually do quite well, I think. Plant more trees. So you need a lot of logs, but first I want to get enough trees. Like, I want to be fully surrounded with trees, and then I want to start knocking them down, right? I'm not going to cut trees until I've got enough of them. So let's grow our population so that we can do some of these things that I was talking about, these long-term things. First, let's make sure that we have enough room for a trade depot, because, right, if we build too much stuff in this area and then we can't have a trade depot, I would cry. I don't really know the purpose of a market. Right? It seems like it's just a storage barn. A market and a storage barn are the same thing. I don't understand the market. Like, I built one before, and it just stores all of your stuff, and then your citizens come and pick it up. And you have to have a guy assigned to the market, and what he does is he goes out to all your different stockpiles, and he brings food to the market. Right? Yeah, it is not StarCraft. You got a good point there. Banished is a very new game. I like to play the heck out of new games when they first come out, because if you slow down, sometimes you forget about them and then you never play them again, and that's no fun. Let's collect some of this iron, although we don't really need a lot. And we're almost out of logs. I don't want to actually build this building. I just wanted to leave a space for it. So we'll leave a space for the market, even though I don't know what it is. I know that I want one. I just don't know why I want one. And then we will put a bunch of other... Oh, we're going to pause. I'm going to lay out my whole town and then pause the whole thing, I think. Hospital seems useful. Can we squeeze it in there? Oh, so close. We're 1 square off from being able to squeeze a hospital in. Oh well, we can put the hospital over here. And a schoolhouse is the one that I was thinking of. I want a schoolhouse. Right there against the water. We'll pause all this stuff. Now we want to make houses, which we will not pause. We'll actually build the houses. House. This reminds me of the Stephen Colbert shark. House. Houses need to be close to the market. We can't actually squeeze in very many houses close to the market. We're going to pause all but one house. Whoop. And we're going to assign one person to be a builder to get that house eventually built. And I think, do we have anyone doing anything we don't want done? Nope. We got very few citizens, so we're not really doing much. A good old stockpile of stuff over here. And to get that house built, how many logs? I think we're okay to get the house built. We might be out of firewood soon. We're down to 30 firewood, so let's get the wood chopper in. I don't have anyone to assign to wood chopper in. I think we got too much food. We're up to 1,000 stockpiled food. So we'll make one of our foodies a wood chopper. And we'll make another one into a forester, and then we'll tell our foresters that it is now okay for them to gather us some wood so that we can chop it and not freeze to death. We're down to 29 firewood. We're going to freeze to death if we don't get more firewood pretty darn quick. We've got a lot of iron and stone, so while I would like to mark more for picking up, it seems like that would be a waste. Any wood that we have that's out of range of our forester's hut, so where's it? There, wood, yeah, forester's lodge. So any wood outside of this area we can safely just chop down because it's not going to get replenished anyway. That's kind of the opposite, actually. Anything that's been replenished you can chop down. Anything that's not going to be replenished you should not chop down, so never mind. I do have lots of venison. Yeah, venison is great. I'm all about venison. Them there. So my wife had 4 kids, which is how I ended up with 4 kids. But that made her much bigger than she wanted to be. So we've been, exercising and dieting and whatever. And we're doing this thing called keto, where you basically cut out carbs almost completely except for vegetables. So you have lots of green vegetables combined with lots of things that are really high in fat and protein, like peanut butter and fish and meats and stuff. And when you eat that way, it makes you really crave things like venison. So that's why I brought it up. Venison, oh my gosh, venison. And fish. The problem is everything's so expensive. Green vegetables in particular are ridiculously expensive per calorie because there's no calories in them. Like, that's why they're so healthy, is you're getting all this nutrition without filling up on calories, so you can have more of it and you can have more of other things. But that's also why they're very expensive per calorie. Eating healthy is crazy expensive per calorie. Eating unhealthy is not, because all of your calories are empty, which is what makes it unhealthy food. But it also means, buying nothing is a lot cheaper than buying something. So empty calories are cheap. Paleo, yeah. I dislike the idea of paleo because it's exactly the same thing as keto, and yet it's got a different name. I'm like, I don't know. I don't like that idea. But yeah, it's the same general concept. I'm not personally doing it very much anymore. I eat what my wife cooks, so I'm kind of doing it, but I also have like bread and jelly and whatever because I don't want to be too small. My whole childhood I was skinny and tall, so I could get knocked over by being bumped into by a short fat person, and that just bugged me. Like, it's hard to play basketball that way. Alright, our house is finally getting built. What happened was we didn't have anyone assigned to be a laborer, and there was one tree that needed to be chopped down before you could build the house, and because there were no laborers, nobody chopped down the tree, and so the house never got built, and that's not cool. Not cool. So our food stocks are doing well, our firewood stocks are doing well, and that's all you need to not die. We need clothes like, you don't really need clothes. They help with efficiency, and if you have not enough efficiency because of not enough clothes or not enough education, you will die. But you'll die very slowly, and I'm not worried about dying very slowly. I'm more worried about dying right away. Right a frickin' way. So we're up to 12 people. I'd like to get to about 50 people by year 7. We're on year 4, so we're way behind. Because we had that big die-off early on. But, you know, if it just takes us a lot more time to get to where we want to be, that's fine, as long as we replace our people before they die of old age. If everyone dies of old age before we can replace them, then that won't be good. Let's get another house. We'll actually mark 2 houses to be built. So our population's been stuck at 17 for a long time, probably because we didn't have any houses. So now that we've built a house, we should see these numbers go up. We're up to 58 firewood, and we got 170 stored in the stockpile, so everything's good. We don't think we have a storage barn. Our market is like a giant storage barn. So for now, anytime anyone wants to bring stuff to the house, they have to walk way over here to this stupid cart, which is kind of silly. It's why I usually build the first house next to the cart. But I didn't want to waste this nice flat area, because on a mountainous start you're not going to have a ton of flat area, although luckily I got quite a bit of it this run. So yeah, we're up to 18, so our population is increasing now that we built the house, and we'll build 2 more houses to get our population to increase a little bit faster, and then we'll build the school afterwards. I think we're good, man. We got plenty of tools. No, we got 12 tools. That's not plenty. We got not plenty of tools. Alright, we got 3 laborers though, which is great. I think I'm gonna build the schoolhouse after the next 2 houses. Well, we have 1 builder, so everything's gonna get built one at a time. It's not like that's gonna happen soon. And we don't need our woodcutter anymore because we finally filled up on woodcuttering. But this is just gonna turn him into a laborer, so sometimes I leave the woodcutter assigned. Because remember, when you want to build a house and there's something that needs to be removed before it can happen, you need someone who doesn't have a current job, and this guy can fill that role while also keeping us topped off on firewood. But I'm not sure I want to do that this time. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Look at this completely full house. Crazy. Whoop, whoop, whoop. This one's not even close to full, but people don't like being in it, which is why I built it. I don't want people to be happy. I'm mad at all of you people for being alive. I don't think I'm going to build the hospital until long after I built the trader, because the only way to get sick is to bring in disease from the outside world, and as long as you don't do that, why would you need a hospital? Since we got so many laborers, I'm going to go back to gathering more food. Our food stocks are kind of dwindling. Look at how many nice, beautiful trees we have now. Great. I wish I could flatten that mountain. Is there a way to flatten mountains? That would be awesome. Although I really doubt that in hunter-gatherer times people were walking around flattening mountains. Ooh, we can put a mine right... Oh, so close. Why can't it be built there? Oh. Oh, so close. I want to build a mine really close to our town. That would be cool. Someone died. Nah, a hunter was trampled by a wild boar. I'm okay with that. Kill as many hunters as you need to, my boar friend. Good old boar friend. He needs to do what he needs to do, and if that means killing off all my citizens, so be it. What you doing, Mr. Builder? France. His name is France. Who would name their kid France? I mean, Francis, but not France. You can't just name them after a country. That makes no sense. Whoa. Our one builder is walking all the way up here. What? Visiting the... We don't even have an herbalist. Is he sick? We should make an herbalist because he just said that he wanted one, I think. Maybe he was just being ridiculous, but it kind of sounded like he wanted an herbalist. Although I think herbalists only help once you have a hospital, and we're not going to make a hospital for a really long time, so no herbalist for you. We need another hunter, but we need more population to get there. We're still at 18 pop, which means that we climbed to 19 before that guy died. Ooh, we can make a mine over here. I'm gonna plant a quarry and a mine, although I'm not going to build them. I just want to plant them like trees. There we go. Pause, and then quarry. The thing about quarries is they need a nice wide open space, but you don't want to use one that's wide open enough that you could have put a gatherer's hut there, because gatherer's huts are way better than quarries. So something where you can just barely fit the quarry, like right here, is quite good for it. Because see, like a gatherer's hut in this spot, it goes into the river, like the river wastes some of its space. A gatherer's hut would be good here, but it wouldn't be good here, so this is a good spot for a quarry. So we need to make a quarry, and then pause it, and then build a bridge. Ooh, can only build horizontal bridges, not vertical ones. There we go. Well, that seems longer than it needs to be. Let's just make one here. Then we'll make a walkway over to our town, our mine. Oh no, our builder's actually building it. Don't build things. I'm just planning for the long term while I'm waiting for the short term things to happen. You should be making houses. Yep, got a second house. Looks like our pop is going up again, up to 19. Next will be this house and then the schoolhouse. Our food supplies are going great. And we got lots of clothes and lots of tools. Everything we need. So schoolhouse is next on the list, and then trader so that we can start farming and stuff. But you need lots of people to farm. I don't think when you have 15 people you should really really be farming. We should probably place roads just in general. I was like gonna try to finish that sentence, and then I realized that that's kind of a complete sentence. We should probably place roads. Just walking through the houses and stockpiles. I'm okay with that. We only have one builder. Probably shouldn't be wasting his time on roads, especially roads that lead to buildings that we don't have yet. This is one problem with streaming for a long time, is like I've had a cold for like 3 weeks, and I constantly while streaming I have to not wipe my nose and not blow my nose. And that's okay for a half an hour, but man, you do that for 3 hours in a row, and you're just like, oh, I can't believe I haven't been able to blow my nose for 3 hours. I don't know that that's the right conversation to be having. Doing good. Our food stocks are actually just kind of hovering. They're not doing great as our population grows. So let's get these guys to go in here. So right now, everyone who lives... Everyone who works over here lives way over here. So every time they're cold, they have to run back. Every time they need food, they have to run back. So we'd like to have a house in the middle of the jungle. But it kind of wastes... I'm torn, because if you build a house there, then you're not building trees there. So it kind of wastes some of the effectiveness of your gatherer's hut. So you can see I'm gathering 600 of each now, Whereas before I was only gathering 100 when I first planted it. So planting trees nearby has really made the gatherer's hut shine. Putting these things together in a clump of 4 buildings like this works pretty well because they synergize or whatever. They all need old growth forests or whatever, but it also wastes a little bit of tree area. I imagine a gatherer's hut surrounded by nothing would do slightly better. Maybe you'd get 650 instead of 600 of each food source. Not that it's worth doing. I mean, I think overlapping the work area of 2 places, outweighs the tiny benefit of not doing so. But just saying. Awesome. So we need a teacher. You can teach us some students. So instead of having 3 kids, now we're going to have 3 students, hopefully. I've never had a schoolhouse before, so I'm not really sure. I assume that's how it works. Blacksmithery. Up to 53 tools. We still got plenty of stone and iron. We're still telling anyone who doesn't have something to do to gather stone and iron from the forests over here. Lots of stone gathering. Ooh, we've gathered almost all of the stone that we can reach. So even though we have 200 stone, and that seems like a lot, I don't even think that's enough to build the buildings that we've already queued up, let alone to build more than that. So we're going to need to cross the river to gather stone, or either way we're going to need to cross the river because we've got this quarry on the other side of the river. So let's unpause this and we'll gather the stone from the other side of the river. Let's see if our builder's idle. Nope, she's got something to do. I don't know what it is, but she said she's working. We should keep her open. I wish you could minimize this. Center the view on this citizen or workplace. Center the view on this. Can we change the size of this window? Pin. So when you move it, it gets pinned. Oh, dude. That means that wait, I want to try something. I think I just realized that you can pin this without... No. I was thinking maybe it would follow the citizen and not go away. That would be cool to have the tasks of citizens floating above their heads. Notice how I say floatig, floatig, instead of floating, because I can't sing anymore. Because it's been 47 minutes. I can no longer sing. Alright, this is going to use 15 of our stone. And a bunch of wood, although wood is replenishing. Stone is not. Our food is still dwindling, so we need to get our food situation under control. We've got 8 people dedicated to hunting and gathering, and we're still running out of food, so... Oh, do we need to build another gatherer's hut, or what? I mean, the obvious choice, make another gatherer's hut here, which is why I built this one here, because it would allow me to put another one there, but... If I do that, it'll generate a lot more, let's carry this thing 100 miles to get it to where it needs to go type of jobs. And I don't know if I like that idea. It reduces the efficiency of my overall layout, which might actually lead to us bringing in less food, even though we have more people assigned to it. So what I'd like to know is maybe by having this schoolhouse, eventually the educated people working in the gatherer's hut will bring in more food, and then we won't need to do anything. Ha. I'm totally lying. That would never happen. Alright, let's get... Oh, we'll leave those houses until the market's up. So we want to make another house. Right along the road. Oops. I think I built it along the road instead of on the road. There we go. Build it on the road. Let's get our population up a little more. Although we can barely support the current population with food if we wait too much longer. It's already year 7. Usually by year 7 you're supposed to have 50 people. And I've only got 16, so I worry that we're going to have an old age die-off pretty soon. Alright, next we're going to unpause the quarry. And this is going to take a ton of iron, but we have enough iron, so it's okay. And then we're going to designate all of this stone over here to be gathered, because we've got a bridge to there. And we're going to make a stockpile near the bridge, just so that people don't have to go all the way across the bridge to carry stone. Make another stockpile over there. And we're doing okay on food and wood and tools and clothes. Everything's good. Everything's good. So, we don't have any laborers. We still need like 3 more population just to support what we're already doing. But once we have the extra pop, what's next on the list? Trader? We could get a trader to trade, get us some farming, and then work on farming. Or is there something more immediate like the hospital and the... I've never had anyone die of... Actually, I've had one person die of illness. And one person die in childbirth. I suspect the hospital would help with that. But I'm okay with losing a couple of people per year to stuff. I don't really think that matters enough to bother with the hospital relative to the massive improvement to food production that I'd get by introducing farming. So we're going to go with this next. Actually, stone quarry and the mine should be next. Because if we build a bunch of things and use up all of our stone and our iron with no way to replenish it, then we can't make a stone quarry or a mine. So we'll do stone quarry and mine, although we won't put anyone working on them. Then we'll do trade depot, and then we'll do farming. Longer term. Longer term. Alright, and I do want to get another gatherer's hut, so this is the first one right here. So the next one would be... Do I want to include the river or the mountain? I can't get a perfect one. Looks like that looks good. We'll put a house next to it. And we'll build a road to it. Right there. Theoretically, building stone roads is another efficiency improvement, but it uses stone, which is not replenishable until you have a stone quarry. And even then, it's a limited supply of stone. Trader sounds like traitor. This is, yeah. We do need more traders. Although there are traders I've seen on Banished Reddit. You can have crime. You can have murders and stuff. NakedRiley.com. Looks like you need some mods in here. Perhaps it says clothes aren't necessary to attract the porn spam. I don't understand. Like, what do we have? Like 2 viewers? 3 viewers? Remyuk and One Man Army and Pifu. Right? So why would a porn bot think it's worth spamming porn to a channel with 3 people in it? Alright, anyway, it's now been an hour, so it's time to insert another break, right? So we'll bring up